Lux in Tenebris. Some would call it the third season's 7th episode. You should know that there were 3 possible intros to today's show. One was where I just literally did nothing, but as we saw in the last few weeks, if I do that, the cast literally leads a fucking rebellion against me and overthrows me. Number 2 was I was going to do a intro on metacognition, but then I realized I promised Pondo I would stop doing that kind of shit. And number 3 was I would freestyle rap and then pass it to somebody else by including their name at the end of the rap. But then I realized that might set the precedent that everybody else should rap. And I've seen some of you attempt to string musical notes together and or raps. So I decided to pass on that. So the intro is actually a meta discussion on intros, the secret 4th option. Dave, how are you doing?
Hey everyone, I'm good. I saw the new James Bond movie the day it came out in cinemas, and
You're insane.
that was very interesting experience. I mean, the movie was, good.
All right, let me
I
ask
have a
you.
lot to.
Does it do a good job of saying goodbye to the Daniel Craig Bond?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I care about, because Casino Royale was absolutely fucking amazing. But I feel like with each successive one, it's gotten so complicated and artsy.
I will say this: the Daniel Craig James Bond is the most like, what if James Bond was a human being? And I'm just like, I don't want my secret agents to be like, it has that Star Wars problem where everything is about the 4 people in the entire universe, right? It kind of has that problem. Like, all of these major villains are just like, hey, James Bond, remember when we were kids? Like, I don't know. I always fucking hated that about the Daniel Craig universe of James Bonds, and I'm excited for what they do next, to be honest with you. But yeah, I will agree with you. Casino Royale was like top tier bondage. And then
Not how I would have called it.
and then the 2 following were just like, eh.
I mean, Skyfall was just too fucking weird for me. Everyone was like, this is the greatest movie that was ever made. The art direction is incredible. And I was just like, I didn't know what was going on half the time.
Yeah.
It's literally about a dude going to a hunting lodge. I mean, come on, just call it hunting lodge.
Yeah, I like Skyfall quite a bit, but I do think Casino Royale was like the top of the Daniel Craig.
And you know what? The fucking the income from the movies made of all time says exactly the same thing. Casino Royale was like fucking the top tier in terms of like movie income. I don't know how they judge movie income, but like I think it's just in box office for the couple of first days or something. Yeah, something like that. Opening weekend, so that was fun. But the thing that pissed me off is like, I don't know, have you guys ever been to a cinema before where they just like they use it as like a babysitting experience? They just like
you mean like people bring their kid? Yeah, okay. I know what you're
push their kids in there, and then they walk away or whatever, right?
Oh, yes. I know they have. I've seen like what they call mums and bub sessions here, where they like their kids' favorite movies, and they allow you to bring in babies, that sort of stuff, and they have like a room at the back you can take crying kids to, not disturb.
No, nothing like that. So basically, there were 2 kids, like I don't know, 12-ish, right? Probably maybe a little younger than that. They were just down the front of this movie, and their parents weren't in the cinema. And they were just like, chatting away, talking about Fortnite and shit. And tons of people just went over to them, just went like, yo, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Like, this is the first time I've been to the cinema in 3 years.
Oh my God.
I remember many, many years ago, I went to the cinema during like school vacation. And we saw like a grandparent brought their 2 grandkids in. So the grandkids would have been like maybe between 8 and 10. And the film was The Ghost in the Darkness.
I love that movie, but like, God damn it, man!
Those kids would have been traumatized by that movie.
That I honestly love that movie, but no, you don't bring your kids to a fucking James Bond movie on opening day. You don't do that. Don't do that, please. But everyone was respectful. Everyone had like seats between them and shit. It was fine. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm fine.
I want to tell you my favorite story of kids in the theater, Dave.
Oh, okay, go on then.
Episode 7, Star Wars. All right.
Yep, that's basically a kid's film at this point.
This very respectful child is seated next to me, and I'm a person who doesn't like children. I also just don't like people in general. Sometimes when I say like I hate kids, people are like, "You're a terrible person." I'm like, "No, don't worry. I also hate you, and just generally everyone."
You're an equal opportunity bigot.
Yeah, exactly. Bigot. See, it's only bigoted if it's not equal. Come on now. So anyway, this kid is just, not being a piece of shit. And I was like, all right, this kid is acceptable to sit next to. So it gets to Kylo Ren stalking Han Solo on the bridge. And they have their discussion, and the little kid whispers to his dad, he's like, they're going to be a family again. And I was like, and then there's a and the lightsaber comes out the back, rips through his heart, and Han Solo falls in, and the kid just starts bawling, and I was just like,
and you leaned over and said, "This is how life is, kid. Get used to it."
No. I may have thought something like
franchise
that.
gets fucked by Disney.
The fuck? All right, keep going, Dave. I just really love that story.
Anyway, so I'm in the middle of a pickle right now, like a
I don't know. It looks like you're in a room.
Shush you, pickle Rick. No, but
no,
funny shit I've seen.
Please. I apologize.
No, never. So basically, I have this problem right now where so I work with a gentleman. He is really, really talented, and he's really passionate about his work.
Okay, you don't have to keep talking about me, Dave.
The problem is he's an artist first, and then programmer like 14th, right? Like
you're still talking about me.
And he started a game like his je ne sais quoi, right? Like the game to end that he wants to make above all else, right?
I think you picked the wrong phrase there.
Yeah,
Did I?
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like a personal quality of style. Where I think you mean like his magnum opus is.
That's the magnum opus. That's the one. Sorry.
Okay.
But also, I guess je ne sais quoi still works because it's his style of doing everything. Anyway, doesn't matter. But he made this game, and it's absolutely fucking gorgeous. It's got his own story in it, and it tells the story beautifully in his language. So I'm just like, okay, I can release this game for you, and I can help you make money off of it, right? And he's like, great, perfect, let's do it. So anyway, I bring in programming stuff. I bring in like editorial copy and stuff like that to make sure that his stuff works, and I bring in a marketing team, do the stuff you're supposed to do. So we're getting to the alpha release date of this game, and one of the things that we can do is we can release a HTML5 version of the game, put it on to like Newgrounds and other things like that in order to get like a lot of traffic for the product, right? Problem is he uses an engine which is it's a WYSIWYG editor, right? So it's like, I'm going to make my own game. I'm going to use a game engine that allows me to just sort of drag shit around instead of programming, right? So
it's RenP, isn't it, Dave?
No, it's not RenP. It's an engine called Visual Novel Maker. Like literally the most annoying fucking thing on the face of the fucking planet. And it would be way too much work to remake it in another engine. So I'm stuck with this fucking piece of shit of an engine. I swear to God. There's this. So if you want to run a HTML5 game, you have to do a couple of things. The first one is you have to host it on a website, so a CDN that basically allows you to read, an architecture of folder structures and stuff like that. Because the way the Visual Novel Maker works is you have a folder called audio, and the audio goes inside that folder, right? But most websites, that aren't sort of designed specifically to host this particular piece of content, have this problem of like reading folder structures inside of a zip file, which is how you put a HTML5 game on a website. So our main platform for selling this game on, we can't host the demo on because Visual Novel Maker doesn't allow you to move around like the folder structure in a certain way because the engine is fucking awful. So this HTML5 demo works fine on one website, but then you're working on another website and it doesn't fucking work because this website's CDN structure is different from this one. It's honestly the most frustrating fucking problem I've ever had in my entire life. We are so ready to launch this thing, but we can't because you have to try and work out how to get around this stuff. It's a real fucking nightmare, and I don't know. Problems, man. That's my fucking problem. So, we have to get it out because it's like a horror game as well. So, like, we have to have it out by now so that in Halloween time we can, do a big promotion and without it cannibalizing the launch sales. And yeah, I don't know. First world problems, right? But it's not as big as a problem as James having to deal with villains taking over his satellite for nefarious purposes or anything like that. So,
See, now that sounds like the plot of a 007 movie.
Yeah, it was. It's called Moonraker, and James Bond literally like flies a aircraft around the planet and shoots a nuclear missile. And then, like, points his ass at the Queen of England at the end of it, if I remember correctly. So.
Pretty sure it's also the one about the news mogul who takes over all the satellites to control the information in the middle of the Chinese Sea. Yep.
Peter Dinklage's dad takes over a satellite with a nuclear bomb on it. Yeah, I remember now. And Jaws gets a girlfriend. Yeah, that's the... That was a weird fucking movie.
Well, man. You got anything else?
I don't know. Maybe we should get. All right. Here's the next character text on James Bond. Henry Cavill, but it's more like Roger Moore James Bond, right? And perfect. Yeah. The man from what was his spy movie that he did? Man from something.
Man from Uncle.
Man from Uncle, yeah.
I want Idris Elba, and I want his James Bond to literally just be the guy from Pacific Rim that Idris Elba plays.
Yeah, just pick him out of that universe.
Today we're canceling the apocalypse. But it's just that constantly. Just be like, all right, that's it today. We're canceling the Chinese plot. Just it.
No, I don't see Idris Elba as James Bond. Like in my eyes, it's just like you have to. There's something about keeping tradition for a movie franchise that's the oldest movie franchise ever, right? You can't fuck with that too much,
Pretty sure Mickey Mouse is the oldest movie franchise ever, but no, there's no but.
Real life action movie franchise. Then I don't think there's anything older than James Bond now that I think about it.
I mean, the books predate Mickey Mouse. If that helps at all.
Oh, give me a break. If that's true, that I don't know, the Grimm fairy tale multiverse is the fucking oldest. What the fuck? 300 has 2 movies, so it's the oldest movie universe.
You can make Ocean's 11 however you want, right? You can make Ghostbusters however you want, right? You can make a female RoboCop. I don't give a shit about that. But
we did make Ocean's 11, 12, and 13, and they were all really good.
But then they made Ocean's 8, and it wasn't.
I haven't seen it, but I assume it was also good.
No, it wasn't. Okay.
I'll have to watch it.
But please just don't fuck with James Bond. Like it's, like let that be just like a period piece about like male toxicity or whatever. Just leave it alone. Like, I don't know. Fuck.
Please let me do the segue. Let me do the segue. You know, speaking of male toxicity, I don't know who to go with, but I knew that was going to be a good one. All right, go ahead.
This is a
Spoon.
bomb that you're going to drop on someone.
Just continue what you were saying. Forget I said that line.
I was gonna say, like, as long as the script is good, like the movie should be good. Right?
We have had really bad Bond movies, my friend.
Yeah,
there have been some terrible.
I know we have. I grew up during the era of bad Bond movies, dude.
The bad Bond movies.
What? You grew up during the Pierce Brosnan era. There was some.
They were not great, man.
GoldenEye was pretty good.
Yeah, it goes Casino Royale and then followed very closely by GoldenEye for me. Like, those two movies are real fucking good.
You can't tell me that the one with Denise Richards, the entire movie is just a setup for what is the Turkish joke?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, man.
Like, I don't know. I
love the way that Dave completely mashed the plots of You Only Live Twice, Moonraker, and The World's Not Enough Together into like one film. In his explanation.
Oh yeah, The World Is Not Enough is the name of the China Sea one, right? Where the dude,
that's right.
That one I think is the satellite control one.
And Charles Dance was the villain in You Only Live Twice, and Moonraker, Hugo Drax was the villain, and his thing was to unleash a virus on the world that would wipe out the population while all his people were safely on a moon base.
I don't know. The Roger Moore movies all mixed together to me.
Here's the real take on all of this. It's Kingsman now. Kingsman is the new James Bond franchise.
I only saw the first one.
I really enjoyed both of them.
The second one was a little weird when they tried to like expand the lore of the spy universe.
Well,
that kind of made me a little like.
It's based on a series of comic books, right? That's like all based off of Arthurian legend.
I get it. But it's like
to make it like a gaming comparison. So like if James Bond is GTA, Kingsman is Saints Row.
Yeah, I was fully on board with Kingsman.
Saints Row the third
until the head explosion scene just got ridiculous. Like,
I gotta say, Kingsman
is over the top.
Kingsman was all right, but the Westboro Baptist Church scene was like really uncomfortable, and Samuel L. Jackson was a weird fucking villain in that movie.
Why was the church scene uncomfortable?
I don't know. It was just like, here's some bad people, and we're gonna just axe murder them with fucking axe.
There's a YouTube series I like, which has got a British emergency room doctor who reviews fight scenes in movies and talks about like what the injuries sustained in those scenes would have been and like the prognosis for each of those people. And his take on that particular scene is fantastic. Where he goes through all the various injuries sustained in that church and what the chance of survival was.
I have to say that Samuel L. Jackson playing a villain who serves McDonald's in a huge fucking vat of McDonald's special sauce is absolutely prescient to the state of America. So that actually fucking happened later.
Also, it brings to light how easy it would be to manipulate people to do your bidding when all you have to do is give them free Wi-Fi, right? And then they'll be like, "Oh shit, yeah, sign me up. You want to be president? Sure, man. Yeah, just give me that free Wi-Fi."
So here's the thing that gets me about Kingsman is that they're like, "Oh yes, we run a extremely exclusive spy school, and you have to like kill your dog in order to graduate, and you have to recognize that the person drowning in the bathroom, you have to save them. Yes." And if you fail to do all that, we'll let you live and eventually join the bad guy side, knowing everything that we know and knowing all of our faces. And we see you again at the end of the movie. And I don't remember what that kid's name was. Maybe Chad, the guy with the punchable face who just shows up. Mm-hmm. I was just like, why the fuck didn't they just kill this kid? Like, why did they let him join the enemy's side? Just you gotta shoot a dog, okay? There's no way that they have a problem just killing some of their own potential failure agents. It was weird. It was so weird. And then their heads exploded like fireworks. Was The movie was bizarre, man.
No, the ending.
There were
ending
some
was great,
really
though.
good parts, and then there's Samuel L. Jackson at the final scene, and he's just like, "It's not a kind of movie, bruv." And I was like, "What the hell does that even mean? What does anything mean anymore?" Do human languages work like this? I'm sorry. I just look, dear. I can't do it anymore. Just go ahead, Smooth.
So let's see. I don't know where was I?
I think someone made that movie while they were on drugs.
Probably.
Most movies.
Really?
Yeah,
Most
it's just-
movies?
I've just been working all week basically. So
James, are you
waiting on-
telling us something? You've worked on movies. You worked on Bond movies.
Yep, I have. Yep.
Okay. I won't ask more questions.
Can guarantee I saw drugs behind the scenes.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I saw the director snorting a line of coke on a hooker's ass.
What the fuck? That's the kind of
Oh,
director's
man.
cut you're not going
I
to
don't
get.
know. My intro is off the rails now. So
Do you think your intro's off the rails? This is my show.
Yeah,
James
the
Bond
entire-
and the Snow Sniffer.
Hey, let's talk about Timberborn some more, like we did during the
yeah,
intro.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's talk about river flow and fluid dynamics.
When you mention that, Dave starts getting excited about fluid dynamics.
Yeah, I'll talk to you
What
guys
a
about fluid dynamics all
callback!
day.
Holy shit!
I'm glad James was there to smash home run the setup I gave him.
Yeah, I got you on the lip there, brother. It's all right.
Yeah. Oh man. So I ran the first episode or first session, I guess I should say, of my Alpha Strike home game campaign that I'm modeling after Indosteel. It went pretty well. Nobody got shot out of their mech in the first battle. Nobody on their side got shot out of their mech in the first battle, but they were up against a bunch of light mechs and one heavy. So we'll see how that continues to fare going forward. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I've just been working all week. So.
Oh, did any of you guys play New World?
Yes, I'm level 33.
Yeah, that's the only thing Arthur's been doing.
It's such a shame because like, I played up to level 15 on launch day, and then ever since then, whenever I'd be like, oh okay, I have like 2 hours to spare, let me just jump on my character.
You could try to move to a shitty, small server.
The reason why I'm on the server that I'm on is because I was really interested in doing PvP with like large scale PvP. So I joined like a company, right? And first day we were like the first company on this massive EU server to get like a big chunk of land or whatever, right? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's awesome. But ever since then, like I'll sit down and I'll be like, all right, I want to log in. It's like, nope, 3,000 queue. And it's like, man, by the time I get into playing this game, I'm not going to have any more time to play this game. So it's like this fucking the dumbest, weirdest problem to have in the modern day. It's just like, yeah, man, I have so little time to play. I want, because New World is a perfect MMO for people who don't have a lot of time to play MMOs, right? Because you can just get in there and you can, do some crafting, do a little bit of grinding on like enemies. Like it's not very quest focused. It's not very like
no, it is quest
dungeon
focused.
What I mean.
It's definitely not dungeon focused. It's quest focused for sure.
Yeah, but you can go at your own pace. Like you don't need to squat up. You don't need to do any of that shit. Like it's sort of this like a little tiny thing that you can do by your own. And when you're ready, you can do PvP. But I don't know.
Just even on like the US East servers, like 700 queue during nighttime with like that's like 2 hours. So yeah, honestly
it's
though,
real
it's
rough. Like,
it's super stable though. I'll say that. Like the launch has gone pretty well considering that this is their first MMO and they basically have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, but they're backed by literally the biggest name in cloud
and
storage.
they should have done a lot better job opening. I mean, they're doing a really good job of opening up more servers, but everyone wants to play on the server that has all of the people on it, which is the problem.
Like, and this is not a new problem for MMOs though. Like every brand new MMO has this exact same problem.
I played EVE Online, bro. There is only one server.
Yeah.
You go to Gita, you might as well put yourself on autopilot and go get a coffee for 2 hours.
Yeah, like I don't know, it's a real annoying problem to have, but like, you know, for me, the magic will probably wear off like really quickly if I can't play when I want to be able to play. So, but the good thing is I'm not paying a subscription to play that game. So, you know,
don't worry, they'll punish you on crafting. We're starting to get into with the crafting stuff, and it will take you forever to level crafting. It's terrible.
No, that's all I did in like the closed beta, and that's all I plan to do in this game is just like gather resources and craft and do all that shit. But like, what do you mean?
It's terrible.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, you'll get there.
Because I played it for 30 hours in the closed beta. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. All I did was crafting.
I want you to imagine that there are 100 people aiming for the same iron node as you.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I was in the day one, man. Like it was. You think that's bad? Try fucking get saltpeter. You know, like.
Yeah, I've only found 14 saltpeter.
Look, dude, what I did, I managed to like get in when they just refreshed the server, and I managed to get like a stack of 300 saltpeter, and I haven't run out since. So I'm just like, yeah. But you know, then you go and make cartridges, and it's like, oh yeah, iron. I need that. Anyway, sorry. Please continue. Who's next?
It's Spoon.
I'm pretty much done. Yeah, I just worked all week and ran my Alpha Strike game.
Hondo the Mad. You look like you're distracted.
I'm just changing the diaper right now. Don't worry.
Okay. Do you need us to cut over to James?
No, I'm good.
Pondo the Mad. Best question for you.
Well.
Is that chocolate or is that Dookie?
I feel like it's really easy to tell the difference between those two.
At this point, it would be, yeah.
No, it's not difficult. No, I haven't really been doing much except for work, and I've now gotten into trying to do 3D printing again. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel really bad that the Gamerati people didn't get back to us.
Are you doing resin or what is it, PLA?
Resin.
Resin?
Yeah, PLA is that's the like FDM PLA.
Yeah, FDM PLA. Yeah. So that brings up I ordered some resin printed mechs off of Etsy, and the first batch got here, and they're very nice.
So what I'm thinking is I commissioned somebody to make a STL file of a 4 Gauss Rifle Devastator and then have Pondo print it for me.
What into a Devastator?
4 Gauss Rifles.
I was actually going to buy a resin printer, but then my wife hit me with a rolled up piece of newspaper and said, bad.
What you should have done is been like, all right, you either get this pile of minis or a resin printer. Pick one.
Yeah.
And it's the minis that haven't been painted yet, but are from that army you like, but hasn't been added into 9th edition yet.
Are you kidding me? All of the minis are the minis that haven't been painted yet.
Oh, I see you've been to my house and seen my Battletech. I haven't even opened my Wave 2 collection for Battletech yet, but I think I'm going to do it and then just take a photo of it.
And then put it all
just
back.
Be like, hey, look, here's all the stuff I got. And now I put it all back in the box, and the box is in the basement in a corner.
Yeah.
If you guys ever want to like kick the habit, by the way, like just kick the habit of like buying miniatures, buying cardboard, whatever, just move to a country where you don't speak the language, right? Like, does it perfectly. I was addicted to fucking Magic the Gathering like so fucking hard. Then I moved to Poland, and it's just like, the cards are in Polish, right? It's like, yep. And the events,
Polish, right?
And everyone at the events, everyone speaks Polish, right? It's like, yep. It's like, I could play Magic the Gathering online, but why would I spend the same amount of money on digital cards? Like, yeah, no.
I recognize that
kicked the
card. It's
habit for
Pot
me.
of Greed. But I can't read the text in Polish. What does it do? I'll never know.
Well, no, the problem with Magic is like they release new cards all the time, so you sometimes have to read the card to like get the effect, and it's like,
Does that do what he's saying it does, or is he just bullshitting me?
No, you must take shot of vodka now. That is the rule on card.
I did see some Magic memes recently, and my favorite one was definitely Spaceballs, the land card.
What the fuck?
Still with you, Pondo?
Huh? Yeah, I'm still here.
Distracted by child.
Sammy Cotton's just messing with me.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is baby. I don't know if you can see baby.
Hello.
It's a cutie.
Pondo, I actually have a question for you, by the way. Like, so you did the birthing in like COVID times or whatever, right? So how difficult is for you as the father to participate?
Here they let us have one person, essentially.
Like the entire time?
Well, during the day they let us have two, which her mother was also there to help support. That night they switched it to one, though the nurses and the staff at night were nice and let her mother stay for the birth.
Okay.
But essentially during the day when it was two at a time, I would leave the room so that way her father could also come in with her mother to see the baby and whatnot.
Okay, so but I mean during the actual like birth.
They hadn't really said much. They did test us for COVID to see if we had it, which we didn't, so we were fine there.
Yeah, because I don't know how it was over there, but in Poland it's kind of nuts. Like, so we had to go to the hospital for basically like the little my little daughter was like not moving for a day, basically, right? So that we went to the hospital to get a checkup, and they're like, everything's fine. She's just, in a space where you can't feel her moving or whatever. I was like, okay. But I wasn't allowed in the hospital. And I had to wait outside in the cold for, 4 to 5 hours while she was in there doing the thing. But while she was in there, basically it was, only pregnant women, because it was a hospital for pregnancies, right? So only pregnant women. And basically the way that they do it is you have to be 4 centimeters dilated before you can be moved into like a room where you can give birth. But they don't allow anyone other than the person who's pregnant to be waiting for a room, right? And the way that they make them wait is by sitting them in a waiting room like you would when you're going to the dentist. So there's all these women who are like having contractions, in pain. They don't have any support there other than the other women who are giving birth. And basically I was outside sitting with a bunch of like soon to be fathers who were just sitting there, just like in the cold, just being like, fucking shit. Like everyone's just waiting around.
So after my daughter was born, they not long after, I think like a couple of days, if not maybe a week, they changed it to where you can only have one person in there at a time. It hadn't got to the point where it said no, the father can't stay. But they definitely
here it's you can only be in, like, the father can be in there during active labor. One person in there during active labor, and then once the child's born, 10 minutes later, off you go until they come home.
Yep, that's how it is here too. Unless you can get a thing called a family room, which is, I want to say that's like $400 a night, right? And you can stay there for like 4 or 5 days, sort of thing, right after the baby's born. But that's only if there's availability, right? Like if there's other people haven't taken up the rooms. So basically it'd be like, you could be here for 2 hours, cool, congratulations, you're a dad. Now fuck off for 5 days. You're not allowed to come back. And it's like, oh my God, holy shit. So there's a good chance that I'll be like, okay, I got the call. The wife is, 4 centimeters dilated, so I can go into the hospital. And by the time I get there, the baby would be born, and they'll be like, cool, congratulations. All right, now go home again. It's like, fuck. I don't know. It's nightmare, really, thinking about it. So.
And by the same token, they're sending them home pretty quickly, though. They don't want them staying in hospital longer than they absolutely have to, because hospitals are.
That's really odd because they were going to make us stay at the full 48 hours that they typically would let. They let us home early the second. Well, like she was born Wednesday at like 11 p.m. They were going to let us go. Not the Friday, but the Saturday morning. But they decided to let us go like that Friday night at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's it. And my sister actually had her son not too long ago, and I think she was only in the hospital a day, but her son was about a month early. So,
wow, yeah, I don't know, crazy times, man. Like just thinking it, because we're gonna have one kid, and I would like to be there for the whole time, obviously. But the realities of that happening at this time of day, or this time of this year, I guess, is I don't know, probably not going to work out in my favor. Anyway, sorry, I sort of stole your little intro there, but please.
I got really nothing much else. I hadn't quite gotten into anything yet. Just now getting ready to get back into hobbying, but we'll see how that works.
So we got them there ranch simulator on Monday.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah,
can't wait to do another we have pigs now. That's right. It's better than having just chickens.
Yeah, we did get the pigs.
Yeah, we got the pigs.
Yeah. For some reason I thought we only got one pig, but no, we got both pigs.
And we figured out how to kill deer really good. Took us a long time.
Kill deer? Yeah.
Yeah, where we roll up on them and then we discard you. You miss a bunch, and I single tap them.
I can't. I don't get the shooting in that game.
No, it's okay. It's the latency issue for sure.
Yeah, so
I've seen the video. I know.
It's definitely I shoot and then like a year later it goes.
AP has host advantage.
Yeah. Nice having 0 MS to yourself. It is funny watching old Wild West Pondo over here letting down all 6-shooter shots. The deer's there. There's just an outline of bullets around him, and then I'm just like, bloop.
It was definitely. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I had it right on target, and then it's like, no, you missed. I'm just like, what?
We know what the problem is, Pondo.
I do.
Actionable.
I do, but there's no like in character way to explain it other than it's like my bullets are slow.
My reflexes are just that much faster. That's the in character way.
You make
slow down after the war, you know?
So I'm like,
your hands shake whenever you're about to shoot.
Can't take the thought of taking a life.
Yep, that's the explanation.
Yeah.
Got anything else?
No, that's all.
Grimdark James, what twists has your life taken this week?
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize on behalf of the others here who completely failed to pick up on the meta discussion about intros. Or perhaps the discussion was so meta, you didn't even notice it. I don't know. But it just felt like a normal intro. But in any case. Look,
I was meta discussing intros at the beginning. I discussed what intros I would be discussing before discussing them. And then I chose to take none of them, James.
Okay. So I probably got 3 things from this week that are worth mentioning. First one is my friend that started watching this show from the start recently has now caught up. And for want of more shows to watch, he started watching Farm Simulator.
What a mistake.
And then he messaged me this week saying, "How do I get on this crew? How do I play with these guys?" So I said, "Just join the Discord." So he joined as a Patreon. So
join as a Patreon. Correct him on that. He doesn't need to pay anything to join for. Well, he has to buy the game, but he doesn't buy it from me.
Well, I mean, the other thing
I could buy a code and then sell it to him for a premium, but I'm fairly certain there are some legal issues with that.
Nope.
My
no legal issues at all.
I ran my second session of Curse of Strahd, which that player is in, and of course, when he first joined the table, all he could talk about was all the stuff he'd been doing in Farm Simulator, and ergo all the things that you guys have been doing wrong in Farm Simulator that he'd figured out because he'd read the tutorials.
Well, we definitely welcome him to the team if he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played the game myself, but I think he implied that the initial intent of the game is to be doing jobs for other people where they give you the tech initially rather than just going straight to buying your own farm with all the gear.
That's correct. We ignored that and we bought our own tech and we suffered mightily for it. We got fucked.
Well, yeah. Well, we didn't even buy our own tech. We leased our own tech.
We leased it. And then I realized what a horrible mistake that was with the leasing cost. Bit us in the ass.
He particularly enjoyed this episode he watched where you couldn't work out how to use the forklift properly, so you pretty much worked out how to handbrake turn the forklift and flick the bales off the forklift with inertia.
Listen, this is like when we're playing Ranch Simulator, and at the beginning of the second episode, Pano goes, I was watching what you did there, and you bought that sausage grinder, and we didn't need a sausage grinder, and we couldn't get enough chickens to support us. And I was like, look, man, I don't know how to play this game. I thought sausage was going to be important. I feel seen right now. You can't just call me out in the middle of the episode.
That's not how you use a forklift. I've been doing it wrong all these years.
We've been using inertial forklift drifting in order to solve all our problems. At some point, we just stopped using forklifts, by the way. We were just like, fuck this. The forklift game is too difficult to get into.
Mini game.
Well, you need like a joystick and 2 foot pedals to work it properly.
Okay, Soundwave, calm down.
But yeah, so I ran Curse of Strahd that went well. We haven't actually gotten to Curse of Strahd because Curse of Strahd is like intended for like level 3 or higher, and like all the published D&D scenarios, it comes with a like an intro thing to get characters from level 1 to 3, which is unrelated. And from everything I read about the one in the Curse of Strahd book, hot garbage. So we've been running Lost Mines of Phandelver to get the characters to level 3, and then we'll
That's
take
interesting because Lost Mine of Phandelver is generally considered to be hot garbage.
Yeah, I mean it for this group it works well because it lets them scratch that classic fantasy itch before they dive into like the full-on horror.
Yeah, I've heard the exact opposite. Like
the biggest complaint about Lost Mine of Phandelver, it is assumed you follow the adventure linearly and do not deviate at all.
Okay, well these people are playing drunk, so they're following whatever breadcrumbs I drop on the ground. They will come along picking up quite happily.
We should do that here one day.
I can't get involved in that.
I know. Several people here can't. It's okay. That was a bad suggestion.
But as I mentioned on the Discord, it was one of those nights where they had everything. They'd cleared out the dungeon for the most part. Had used up all their spell slots, all their potions, all of their single use or between rest abilities. And we're like, let's go. We've already beaten the bad guy. We've rescued the person we need to rescue. Let's go back to town. And someone's like, come on, guys, one more door. And then the game went for another hour as the next fight. We nearly killed 2 characters and had to expend several spell scrolls to actually survive. How did
they deal with or did they run into the flame skull?
No, they haven't got that far yet. No, they were doing the hideout underneath the manor in Phandalin, like where the gang lives.
Yep.
So they're still at level 2 fighting hobgoblins and the like. But they had a good time. And like one of the players, like, hey, maybe it's like a weekend where we just played this game for like 2 days straight, stopping only to sleep. And I'm like, I'm not really at that stage of my life anymore. I play games in like a few hour stints here and there. But the other thing I did this week was I picked up Solasta based upon Dave's recommendation. And I think I really enjoyed it. It's one of those games where I really wish
Strange, right?
somebody would recognize it and throw a lot of money at those guys to do something bigger. But then I know that by the same token, they would ruin it in the process. You know, it has all that charm of a low budget game, but really, really good mechanics and just some really clever ways of doing things. I like the way the game is presented. So
yeah, it's kind of weird too, because like they do something that I've never seen any CRPG do that uses an established rule set, which is, you know, people fall into like a trope of being like, I'm going to make my party the way that I want, right? And you do that. And then you get into a game and you're like, oh, fuck, how do I get that chest? And then you Google it and it's like, yeah, you need Featherfall to get that chest. And you're just like, fucking what? Like I've never seen any other CRPG do a thing where it's just like, yeah, your loot is limited by like the spells and movement options you have available to characters. It's crazy. Like I have never seen anyone do that before. So
yeah. So I mean, if you're not familiar with it, the guys that made it used 5th edition D&D, but only the SRD. Mm-hmm. So they were able to use all that without having to pay royalties to Wizards, as long as it was all acknowledged, you know. And so it's only the core SRD races, only the core SRD classes, spells, etc. And the setting is their own because they couldn't use like all like Forgotten Realms. That stuff, they're not part of the SRD. So they have to make up their own gods, their own background as such. And you create 4 characters at the start of the game. And it has this sort of system of picking personality traits in the alignment grid. So, you know, you might say I'm pragmatic or, you know, formal or cautious, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And all the characters are voiced. And so you get to pick like a voice, and there are like different voices per race as well. So even if you made like 4 characters, you know, or you had 2 males, 2 females, you wouldn't be stuck with 2 people that sound the same of each gender as such. There's enough variance in that. But then you do see the personalities come into what they say as well. So they've obviously got different lines because the characters banter amongst themselves. Like the whole opening scene of the game is the characters meeting each other for the first time and introducing themselves and talking about their background, and it clearly draws on the personality options you pick. So nice and elegantly done for a low budget studio.
Yeah, so they do this really good thing too, where like sometimes when you play a CRPG, you can tell when they allow, like Pathfinder was really bad about this, but they had like moments of time when they allowed players or the characters to like say a line, right? Like you have this character in your party, then they have this moment where like this character can now, or all the characters say they have an input. But in Celesta, is it Celesta? Or whatever. Yeah. They basically talk all the fucking time. Like every single conversation, every single person in your party like inputs something. So if you have like a cunning character or like, you know, whatever, they literally have like different things to say. And it's kind of weird because on my gameplay, I had like 3 characters that, or like 2 characters that had the same voice, but they had different personalities. And they had completely different things to say in that same point. So it was the same character voice basically like multiple times, having different like ways of saying things and saying different stuff. It was kind of mind-boggling actually. They did a really good job of it. So
yeah, there's a couple of times where like the character's personality slip between like the default and, you know, so it's like, we should go this way. Come on, governor. You know, it's like, and it's the same character speaking like 2 lines, but it's just like one part is just like the voice, the other part is the affected voice actor. But and I also like the fact that early in the game, there was a scene where there's like 4 NPCs and you had to speak to them all to work out which was the dodgy one. And like 3 of them were like people in like armor, and the 4th guy was in like a black cloak with black armor, you know, and when you speak to the other 3, they're all like, oh yeah, it's totally the guy in black. When you speak to him, he's like, I'm not going to tell you anything, but it wasn't me. You know, and it's like, pick the person you think it was. And I'm like, is there some trick I missed? You know, I'll go speak to this guy. I think it was you. He's like, you're right, it was me. Like, this is the most lame reveal.
It's like catching the bad guys in Hot Fuzz. It's everyone.
The only problem I had with that game is like loot was kind of pathetic, I will say. But that's just because loot in 5e is generally kind of pathetic anyway. Like, you're not really like driven to find new swords or like that +1 or whatever. Like Pathfinder has a much better time of it because you can just be like, here's a +2 rapier masterclass or whatever, and it's like, they don't really have that in SRD, and it's just like, okay.
But it definitely has nice tactical combat. If you like that sort of turn-based gridded tactical combat, it's very good. Although I have found playing Celasta that clearly the best tactic in any combat is to push people off cliffs.
Yep.
Get near a cliff and then push them off.
I see you're a chivalry player. Yes. James, I'm going to send you something that I immediately thought of when you spoke about the cloaked figure. I
love that guy's work. I love
yeah, he does a great job
with the ships coming at different angles. It's like, Captain, you realize your ships are at a non-angle. No, Captain, from our perspective, you're at a non-angle. In space, we only meet like this, and you're sort of like this. Anyway, that's all I got.
All right, let me mark the time and then make an announcement. Ooh, we're at 50-50. Isn't that great? So before James gets into things, I need to make the announcement that sometime towards the end of this month, 2 things will be happening. One, the November 1st, the community Eco RP server will be starting. And you're all invited, community. It's going to be sick. Number 2 is that once Dawn Agreement gets underway and I figure out whether or not I'm horribly drowning in running Solaris Knights and Dawn Agreement, James and I will be doing a late October-ish, again, contingent on me figuring out my schedule, series of puzzle escape room games where I think one of us is trapped in a room and the other one has to find them while we communicate only through in-game microphones over walkie-talkie. And I'm going to do that thing where I don't say over when I'm done talking like a monster. And I'll use military lingo wrongly. I'll be like, all right, 10-3, buddy.
My name is going to actually be
you know what
over.
that means, right?
That's right. Yeah. Why do you keep saying the same thing over and over again? I said 10-3. Stop repeating yourself.
I think the enemy got the point. All right, James, you can give us your creepy intro quote.
Okay. Previously on Rogue Trader, Sphinx of Fate, Trade Admiral Jonquil Saul arrives at Port Wonder to meet with Pierre Cowles and broker a deal over the recovered Exchequer void ship. After some negotiation, a deal is struck. In exchange for the Exchequer, Cowles will receive the wreck of the Heart of Majesty, along with a significant portion of a fresh crew and a controlling interest in the Cormasoshi dockyard near Tranche. With business done, the Cowles fleet prepares for the dangerous journey through a warp storm to reach the cut-off world of Sephira Secundus. Exposing herself to the raw energy of the warp, Dawn is able to project her spirit forward, forming a beacon that guides the ships through the tumultuous storm safely to their destination. Coming to the aid of Queen Lackmira on the planet's surface, the senior crew descend into the mines of the Shadows, wreaking great violence upon the cultists and demons within. Thought for the day, carry the Emperor's will as your torch. With it, destroy the Shadows. So I believe we last left off with you guys fleeing the collapse of the mines. And it's one of those sort of like Mass Effect style moments where, you all emerge as like behind directly ahead of a cloud of dust as the last of the mine collapses, sealing the tunnels that you have escaped from.
James,
and yes,
I just want to mention that at Gen Con, I produced a game for the male Commander Shepard. And I managed to not be a huge fanboy about it. I was just like, oh, you're that Mark Mayer. Well, you did pretty good. Voicing Commander Shepard, thank you for your service. I didn't bring it up again, even though I wanted to meme for 4 hours straight.
He is my second favorite Commander Shepard on the Citadel. So,
man, Jennifer Hale is your first favorite? All right, that's a choice.
I love that he leaned into the fucking meme of like, we'll bang, okay? Like, I love that he leaned into that so hard. It's perfect. He did an amazing job with that. Now, anyway, continue, please.
All right. Yep. So all of the Scourge forces, sort of, they've all lowered their weapons because they were pointing at the entrance you all emerged from, but
No, we're doing the clapping, remember? I intimidated everybody into doing the slow clap and 3 cheers for Pierre Cowles.
Oh, sorry, that's right. There was that.
Yeah.
So that's I
They better not be pointing weapons at us during that, or I'm going to have some discussions about camaraderie.
All right. So the Queen approaches the group, and you can hear like Vox operators in the background are like coordinating among efforts with different battlefronts around the planet. But she approaches Cowles, Pierre specifically. What did you encounter, Lord Commodore? The demon threat is gone then?
At least maybe in that part of the cave. I don't know about the others. But there was apparently a crystal from what Nero's told me. I wasn't able to see it myself. Only one's not equipped with a jump pack, aside from the little one over here.
You're speaking of the antithesis stone that we said had reformed.
Yes. We managed to destroy the stone, which seems to have closed the portal. There were some beings of chaos, but again, we were able to take care of them, along with some mutants that were stuck inside as well.
And like someone walks up to her and stands nearby, clearly wanting to relay the message. She turns to them, and they just say, "Your Majesty, it appears the tide is turning. We're gaining ground in all the fighting areas. The mutants are withdrawing, and we're no longer encountering demonic forces."
Nero yawns. Another war won.
Yes. She turns back to you. Seems that your arrival was indeed very fortuitous, Lord Commodore.
Well, thank you. Try to be. Now, if you excuse us, we're going to go see what the situation is outside of the city is. See if the storm is still raging strong or what may be the case.
Very well. Once things are under control here, I will probably look to relocate to the Misericord. Or I could command from your ship if you're staying in system.
That is fine with me. I'll be sure to find some appropriate quarters for you upon my ship.
Oh. You have my thanks then. We should be in contact shortly.
Yep.
She turns and you remember she's got like these really big sort of like shoulder pads with a cloak hanging off it. So even though she's a very small woman, she takes up a lot of room physically. So you have to sort of move back as she turns.
Look, I just imagine she looks like Wolfhour from Zoolander.
Like Legato. I think of her more like the White Queen from Lion Witch of the Wardrobe.
Oh,
okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right,
that's how I imagined her as well.
Yeah, just not wearing white, like wearing like red and gold, I suppose.
I was thinking more like something from like, you know how you get like those old queens where they have like most of their top head shaved and they got like the thing pulled back. Yeah.
Well, she has like that big sort of
and then they have like the big
style hat on,
pointy
like
hat things. Yeah. By the way, James, I am hella hurt right now. Can I do some healing on myself? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Magical.
What would you like me to roll? I'm -1 right now, so I'm not sure what we're going to get into. Like, what's the plan going forward?
We're going to go outside and see if the sky is still made of fire.
Okay, so I'll do a like a proper magical healing on myself. I don't know. Yeah,
okay.
that sounds good. Let's do that.
So
I'll spend a fate point. Yeah.
Do a Medicaid test. It's not at +10 because you're working on yourself.
So just +10?
No, it's not at +10 because you're working on yourself and you're critically injured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, so you get back your intelligence bonus and your willpower bonus in points.
So that's 10. That puts me at 9 HP of 18. Sweet. That'll do. What about fatigue? That would heal all my fatigue, yeah? So,
yes.
All right, great. Perfecto.
Well, Don is medicating. Nero's going to turn to Pierre and say, Lord Commodore, after we head to the surface and see if there's still a warp storm, whether we go back to the ship or not, might we take a detour somewhere?
Sure. Are you wanting to take a look at your...
The tumbles, yes. I am
Okay.
curious. It does not sound as if it is the greatest land that has ever been bestowed here, but it is my responsibility.
I don't see why not. Though hopefully we won't run into any sort of fighting.
Why would we not want that?
Dawn just got through fighting.
I think the main threat here is.
I'm okay. Well, Captain, don't take into account my health when you're considering the greater good.
I feel like we can do most of our future fighting from a gun cutter, so...
Very well. Let's just be off then.
I want us to have this moment where we all walk away in like slow motion with a rap beat dropping and like all of the... What are the guards called around here?
Scourges.
Scourgers are like looking at us as we walk in slow motion.
Oh,
That's it. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Wow,
I'm
hat is
covered
very
in
tall.
demon ichor and dust and
It's the
all sorts of blood.
Is that the official
The-
artwork, or is that just something random that you found?
No, that's the official artwork.
it's the
Okay.
the here comes the boom from the Longest Yard remake.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna turn towards Dawn and just say, Dawn, you're built different. And then I'm gonna nod in slow motion.
Damn right I am, and I put my fucking visors on.
So, Pierre, you get a Vox Hail from the Hand.
Okay.
Lord Captain, the warp storm is gone. We're saved.
It's Markov, your chief choir master.
Yep.
Lord Captain, something. I'm just speaking with the crew here in reality. It sounds like there is some abatement in the storm. Not enough to travel through, but we were able to get some communications through. Some of the signals coming from that's from Scintilla have arrived. Are there any messages you need me to send out?
Lord Captain, this is the perfect time for me to talk to you about messaging every resident of Scintilla. Here, read the script real quick.
Let's
I hand you the Nigerian print scan. You know,
what?
And the Nigerian print scam. It's the 41st millennium. There's got to be like 1 trillion people in Scintilla, right? At least enough of them might fall for it.
You want me to do the whole? It's like we've been trying to reach you about your car
40 million
insurance.
thrones.
So you also got to have spelling errors in it, or else it won't work.
Oh yeah, of course. You got to filter out the people who are too intelligent to fall for it. Yes. No, I don't do that. But I thought it would make a good bit. Anyway.
I can get out, man. Send out a message towards Scintilla saying that the queen is safe here, and that that's really it. That soon may the storm
And you could
subside.
tell them that about the victories we have won on the surface.
We were underground. What do you mean on the
I
surface?
mean, we win victories all the time. This really shouldn't be surprising to anybody.
This is the. I think you're underestimating the importance of this trade route.
Pierre literally fought a dark sorcerer with 2 pistols. Our level of effectiveness is so high we don't even need to peacock anymore.
What I'm saying, Lord Commodore, is that this is a perfect moment for some PR.
Yeah, I'm sure that PR would go over a lot better once people could actually get here, instead of hearing about how nice it is, but how you can't get here.
How about this? The first victory for the trade route has been won. More to go as the storm now
Hold
subsides.
on, let me just write this down. You hear some quick shuffling and then
Yeah.
like an ink pen on paper.
Okay,
ahead,
and then
sorry.
send that through PR. Make sure it checks out, and then send it out.
Yeah. The first victory has been won. Stop.
I'm James Jives, and this is the Scintillan Broadcasting Network. It turns out we've received reports from the Sephira Secundus front. Rogue trader Pierre Cowles is present and has won a great victory in an underground battle against daemons, which definitely don't exist. Because we tell you, they don't exist.
If you're going to do like the radio, you need to start off by still like reading the headline, like, chaos in the Scintillan front.
What am I, Clone Wars?
All right. I'll send the message off, then I'll go back to my task for the Master of Ordnance.
Thank you.
Wait, what task did I assign you?
To send constant communications to the colonies in the Expanse.
Nope, that's a very important task. Continue doing that. Thank you for reminding me. I'm not joking about that one.
Okay.
I just didn't know he was still doing it in the middle of the warp storm.
Well, no, they stopped because of the warp storm, but now
Yeah, exactly. So now it's just okay. Yes, now I
Yeah.
understand. Yes.
They got a
Before you
good
do
break
that,
out of
send
it.
word to fair quarters for the Queen. She may be staying upon the Hand of Calixis for a little while.
I'll organise that.
What is it?
I'll organise that. That's
Thank
fine.
you.
One more thing, Lord Commodore. Perhaps you should send a message to Inquisitor Shrain saying, "I lived, bitch."
That's perfect. Here, let me take a selfie.
What have
Take
we
a
done
selfie
to
with
Warhammer?
Dawn, and
We've
it's just
ruined it
like-
forever.
Essentially, having like a servitor take a picture and then sending it over is like, send that to Inquisitor Shrain, please.
Now look, when we take this picture, is it like the four of us in a line doing like a Civil War photo, all standing all grim and proper? Or are we doing it Final Fantasy 15 style, where we're all like, yeah, dude, we're in our fucking car doing a road trip, and we just defeated the fucking demon lord, bro.
I'm telling
Oh
you now,
shit, you see this ramen we just ate?
The photographer only loads the sepia film, so
Yeah, it's definitely the first one. Definitely the first one.
We gotta look like we're sad just because we don't want to wait so long.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had to wait 20 minutes between the flash and the photo.
Pretty much, yes.
all right, so it does sound like whatever is happening on the surface now is under control. So the Queen wants to relocate into like off the surface now. She doesn't need to be directly leading her troops. They can mop up. You still wanted to go and check out the tumble first?
Yeah, James, it felt like a really good opportunity for you to quickly come up with material you hadn't planned for, but also give me an opportunity to be like, oh, so this is my land.
So, thankfully, there's not a lot of actually. There would have been quite a bit of fire in the tumble, I should say. So that when you go to examine it, the tumble is not a mine per se. What it is that a lot of the mining is done in Sephira Secundus with a combination of manpower and heavy mining equipment. And so when you're coring out things like that, you get a lot of the detritus that you have to move out of the way to clear out of the mine, and a lot of that stuff gets pushed into the tumble, where
toxic metal poisoning, perfect.
So where miners go through, so effectively like the machinery breaks the core material into smaller rocks and might find complete veins, whereas the people that live in the tumble go through the detritus trying to find smaller. So it's almost like panning for gold as such.
Yeah. Pano and I are from West Virginia. Okay, we got you. We know.
Yeah, there you go. So they pick through the detritus to find ore.
Right.
Which still generates like an income for that. It's still considered to be a fief.
Sure. Let me ask: is life expectancy in this district significantly lower than the rest of the planet?
Oh yeah.
Guys, I gotta. If you want to make some serious money, here's what you do: set up shop there and sell shovels.
Yeah. Well, I literally own this place, so you know.
Yeah. They're still mature. They've got like those, you know, the conveyors that shake out the material as it moves downhill as such, and tries to separate the heavier from the lighter materials.
You know,
but
Don.
But then you've got children picking like the bits of ore off that and putting it into.
Thanks, I hate it. I absolutely hate it, James. Don, you know how they say that you should be the person that makes the inn or the restaurant in the mining town? You know, to make the most money. I actually own those people. They belong. This is my town. It's horrible. It smells so bad.
Is this some sort of dumb flex you're trying to do?
No, I don't understand. They literally gave me the
he's telling
awards.
you his disappointment in the situation.
Well, I mean, I knew that they weren't going to give me prime
Oh
material,
no,
but I didn't.
own all of this real estate and people and land. Oh, woe is me.
Look, Don, all I'm saying is...
Nero the Disappointed. There you go. That's another title.
I didn't want filet
name.
mignon, but I didn't know that I was getting scrapple.
Oh, you poor soul. You poor soul. Why don't you give the land back to the people that work it, and then you'll feel much better about yourself.
But why would I do that?
Exactly. Why would you do that?
No, I mean, I literally have to hold this title so that the princess is a legitimate heir.
And he gets paid for it too.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh.
Person standing in the corner of our gun cutter.
These people are serving the Imperium in their own way.
Exactly. Now I'm looking
by
around.
lining the pocket of Nero here.
Are they
stabbing by harvesting this ore here? And,
are they stabbing mutants to death with
shaved shovels, you know, like combat shovels, or
yes.
e-tools. Okay.
So this sort of place is the classic example of where you would find non-chaos mutants. So, you know, people that have been subject to mutation through exposure to adverse elements rather than people that have turned to the worship of chaos. But by the same token, those mutants often, when they are shunned by society, turn to the only people that will accept them, the chaos gods. So, yeah, I'd say there has been some heavy fighting here. No demonic presence, certainly in the tumble. But, yeah, there's certainly been some mutant uprisings in the tumble that are being suppressed.
Okay. Interesting. James, how much societal upheaval am I allowed to cause here?
How much do you want to cause?
I mean, look, if my whole district is literally made of the dregs of society and the mutants, rather than having them go to the chaos gods, I would be like, look, this is my adopted son. He's a mutant. Look at that. You're accepted. I want to be Jeff Goldblum from Thor Love and Thunder. Here you
this
are.
Sounds...
Here
this
you are
like
welcome.
Heresy.
Here, what? There are acceptable types of mutants in the Imperium.
There are like 3 accepted types of mutants in the Imperium.
Look, I'm just gonna look at Adrian and just be like, look at these people. Do you want to go down there and personally kill each one of them?
Why are we talking about this?
No, that's why I fly a gun cutter.
Yes, exactly. All right. Look, the fact is that this is the job I was given, Adrian, and no one told me kill everyone in your district because the district has to run. Yes, technically Cadians are mutants, but we don't talk about that because I'm built differently and I'm better. I think we've already established that Nero's genes are like apex predator level of human. Look, all I'm saying is that you can't have Imperium society without mutants, and if they're going to be here, yes, occasionally they should be killed by like a twist catcher or something like that, but they should feel accepted here, like the Imperium needs them. Because if people feel like they're needed, they will crush rocks for minimum wage. And that's what I need right now, is people who will do an absolutely filthy job, Adrian. They will literally kill themselves doing this job. Look at this. They live 75% less than the average human on this world.
Lord Captain, what exactly are we doing here?
We're solving a problem.
Let him see his land, but I guess now he wants to do a PR stunt.
It's not a PR stunt.
Okay, you're wanting to do a PR campaign to help
I just
boost
want
morale.
the people here to know that their efforts in suppressing bad mutants was great, and that, sometimes there can be good mutants. They're the ones who work for the Imperium and don't make loud noises and never question anything.
Now, are you going to be the one that makes the speech, or would you rather have someone else make the speech for you?
Oh, that's a good point. I could just threaten them, though. I'm really good at that.
I'm going to tell you now that threatening's probably not a good idea in this situation.
I don't know if this is something that Nero would think of, or Pierre, but because the opportunity exists to say to these people, look, this fief works for the person who just saved the planet. I can inspire them by making them feel more important than the other people because they serve the Baron Savior.
Nero would not think of that, because for Nero, doing that was literally like a Tuesday.
I don't know if Pierre would think about it either, because yeah.
Adrian, you want to jump in here? No, you don't want to.
I think Adrian's like, you tell these people whatever you have to. You are the Baron here, but let's go. This place is small and unimportant.
Yes, I know. Look, I'm just saying we spend less than 5 minutes crafting a message here, and we send it, and we hope that we get positive results. All right, so Lord Captain, if you don't mind, here are some bullet points. Not all mutants are bad. Mutants that don't show their mutations in public and work hard for a good wage being a minimum wage, will not be looked askance at. And look, my son's a mutant. Some of my best friends are mutants.
Also, we saved your planet.
We saved your planet. I single-handedly blew up the thing that was spewing daemons. Wait, we can't tell them about that. We could just say saved the planet. We can't tell them about the daemons
from the enemy.
Yeah, give me some sort of positively aligned social role, whether it's charm, blather.
Essentially, it's going to be Pierre's going to.
But we should do the whole thing while floating in the gun cutter above them, as if we're so good. We're so much better than them. We can't even get down on the ground to talk to them.
So essentially, Pierre will add more along the lines of what else he does as a great Cadian of the Imperium that fights for justice as such as their people here.
Playwright, thug, murderer.
Are you telling the truth or are you lying?
Telling the truth.
Top.
Okay.
13
How he has
snipers in the
single-handedly
Calixis.
I would say top
enemy.
9.
Okay.
And saved this planet by pushing them back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then as he has brought in his own son as a mutant.
I'm still feeling charm or blather here.
Yeah.
Please make it blather.
I can't fail either way.
Yeah, but it's the margin of success that's important here.
Regardless.
Look, I'm talking like a 10.1 degrees of success is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people to be so inspired that quotas are up 5% in the next season.
I'm gonna 100% guess I don't get renowned warrant because it's not him showing.
No, they don't care. These people.
Yeah. 6.7.
All right, that's pretty good. Okay, increase your point factor by 1.
Hey,
Amazing.
all right.
Wasn't looking for that, but I'll take it.
We're at 45.
This is some prime rogue.
So now we're at 46.
45.
I already had 45 down.
Oh, then it's 46.
I have 45 down too.
Yeah.
I've been trying to keep track of it too, but I guess I missed one where we got one somewhere.
Wait, don't you have a thing that whenever you gain one, you gain a second one?
You do, hard bargain. Yep, okay.
47.
Will this count for this? Because it's technically Nero's thing.
No.
You're the one doing it.
I'll allow.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. I shouldn't
Look, James, just tell me, is there cheering or demonstrating, or does everyone like nod and then get back to cracking their rocks?
No, it's true. Like, and this is probably where like the hard bargain comes in as well, because when there's like this immediate sort of uplift in interest, Pierre swoops in to capitalize on it by like updating some of the tech or providing some skills training in order to actually, capitalize on that sudden burst of enthusiasm.
Perfect.
I send some gnolls down to help quell some of the rioting.
Yeah, imagine the rioters just being like, ugh, Man, I wanted a riot, but now I just feel like going home and
That's right.
eating dry cereal.
That's right. I hate the Queen, but I hate him more.
I want to go back to work.
I'm just gonna go beat the shit out of this guy real quick, and then I'm gonna go back to work.
Do you know that was actually a job in like the 30s, 40s, and 50s in American department stores? Is that they would have people whose jobs were to intentionally get fired.
Okay.
They would step in during discussions and be like,
make an example.
Yeah. So it was like for proto Karens to be like, I want this person to be fired. So their job was to step in and intentionally draw the hatred of the customer to them, so the manager could come over and be like, Samson, you're fired. And then, they just go to the back room and put on a different hat or a different shirt to show back up to work.
That's like
I'm telling you, it's real. You can look it up. It happened.
Yeah, when Vader can't actually force choke them, they pretend to be choked and they put on a moustache.
Oh, Jenkins? Yeah, he's been force choked 13 times.
Yeah, otherwise he just uses his lightsaber to kill you.
That's one of my favorite Robot Chicken sketches.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then we get back to the main plot where we go back to the ship, I guess.
Okay, cool. So you're heading back to the ship. So a second ship has been organized to transport the Queen and her entourage as well. You guys are flying back to the Hand. Spoon, I would like you please to give me just a perception roll, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now our ship is just filled with mutants who are only visible to people who are pilots. They're everywhere.
Every time.
Okay.
It's no worse than the bug that only affects psychers.
So you're at the point where you're coming into land on the Hand when your augurs pick up an unusual signal from the Queen's shuttle. It reads like a sudden decompression.
Ooh, that's not good.
Why, James? Why would you do this?
Can I focus the sensors in that direction and see if there's any other are there engines overloading or
no, but at the same token they're not slowing down. Like they're not firing retro thrusters to slow down to enter the landing bay. They're still flying under the current inertia towards the Hand.
Okay. I will roll into guns range behind them and open the Vox and call Queen's shuttle, please respond.
Yeah, presumably all of you are seeing the situation now.
Yeah.
They're just flying under inertia at the moment, and there's no response.
All right.
Your augurs aren't picking up any life signs on board.
Okay, before you do anything crazy, Adrian, if you blow the shuttle up, it just means a cloud of expanding hot shrapnel is going into our landing bay, which I assure you is much worse. What if you fly in front of them and then start a slow braking maneuver?
Or you could just shoot their engines.
Again, I cannot stress enough how that will not stop a cloud of hot shrapnel from going to the landing bay.
Yeah.
This is not how physics works, sir.
Right. He's right. We need to change.
And then go in front.
Yeah. Their engines are no longer active though?
Yeah, well, that's it. They're flying.
Yeah, like you said, it's flying under inertia. We just have to move in front of them and start braking.
Never mind.
No. We're not going to move in front of them and start braking. That's foolish.
I mean, this gun cutter can take the hit, couldn't it?
I will basically come up underneath of them and then lift their path out of, change their trajectory.
You're literally using rhythmic dance to solve this problem.
Give me a piloting test.
Sure.
Pilot.
This is where you get a 100.
I know, flight. Sorry.
You said this is where he gets a 100?
100, yeah, for sure. Both ships explode. Everyone dies. Okay, all right.
I mean, it's a really unpleasant sound when the ships first make contact and such, because you can't match their speed exactly, so there's scraping.
Yeah.
But by the same token, you cause them to slow somewhat. But then you push them out, and they will no longer fly into the side of the Hand. Mm-hmm. But by the same token, they will continue flying
out into space.
Yeah.
With no.
Can we start braking maneuvers at some point, Adrian?
Would you like me to break with their ship?
I'm telling you, we just need to get in front of them and start slowly braking to lower their momentum. I don't think tractor beams are a thing in this universe.
Let's get a
No.
couple of the other gun cutters to get some chains so we can maybe net this thing to slow it down.
Is that a thing we can do?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, well,
Adrian puts on his helmet real quick.
With nearly 7 degrees of success, I'm happy that a short montage later,
Yeah.
you have slowed the Queen shuttle down to a stop.
You see, Lord
And
Captain,
this is
we can
Pierre,
put
like, not
chains on
knowing anything
anything to
about
solve our
spaceships,
problem. No, go ahead, Ponto.
What'd you say?
I said, see, Lord Captain, you can put chains on anything to solve the problem.
I suppose you can, though. I can't imagine some of the tech priests are not going to be happy about their.
I turned to
damages
look at the
Arch-
misericord in the process. All right. Well, I know we're acting kind of nonplussed about this, but the Queen is literally on a shuttle without any oxygen inside of it. So maybe we should
she's
EVA.
Well, she had power
she's
on her, so
probably
she
dead.
could've- Yes,
I think we should EVA over there and check in on her.
that was my plan.
Okay, good. Nero says that as he puts his helmet on and then airlocks himself out.
Yeah. Well,
He's like,
yeah,
we
I
should go
was gonna
check on her. Beep.
So who's going aboard the Queen shuttle?
Right here.
I will stay aboard Lucky 13.
I'm
Okay.
wearing light power armor, and I'm definitely using a cord to move from one ship to the next.
Yeah. Other than like, if you slow down, you're effectively like you can line up an external hatch. So
Sure, but I also don't want to fly infinitely into the void while still living and maybe enter
Yes.
a warp storm.
the warp storm's not in the space; it's in the warp.
Sure. I guess
Alright,
I don't
anyway.
really know how warp storms work.
Yeah. So warp
That's
storms happen in the warp; they don't happen
Yeah.
in real space. Yeah.
Usually.
Unless there's like a warp incursion. Like
We've
Eye of
literally
Terror.
seen warp storms though, because we've been near
Yeah.
like the Maw and stuff. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
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 And Katie, look,
the warp
Nero
storms
is
of the warp-
used to warp storms being visible. That's how he was raised. Okay, Katie is a backwater.
Okay. When you enter the ship, I mean, it's that sort of deathly cold. Not that obviously you feel it, but you can sort of see people floating, bodies floating that have obviously died of exposure to the void.
Is anyone alive in here?
There is no response.
I am over here. Hey. No.
Hey, Don. Lord Captain, do you see anything? Nero's like, whoa. He's
I mean-
a dumbass in zero G.
It's not a gun cutter. It's a shuttle, so it's pretty much just one large room. So everybody inside is dead. The main screen, the main canopy has one of the panels is blown out, and obviously it hasn't taken long to. I mean, probably the space of the panel wasn't big enough for a person to be ejected through, but certainly there's probably you can see a body which has had injuries, from a significant Delta P incident. That was probably the pilot. I mean, everyone would have been strapped in too. But
Is
in any
the
case,
Queen's body visible?
yes.
And she's 100% dead.
Yes.
I'm gonna slowly.
Pondo, give me a are you aboard here, Dave, as well? You come aboard horribly injured, or do you stay on board your ship? Oh, you're back up to 9 wounds, aren't you? So
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess if there was like a need for medical attention, I could come over. I guess, but
Don, there's a need for medical attention. The Queen is dead, and I say that on an open channel.
all right.
I mean, if there was like, what I'm saying is like, if the assumption was that there was going to be hurt people over there, and
Yes.
we were doing our best to
We
do that,
did
I would
assume.
have gone over. Yeah.
Okay, so I float the body over to you while putting the helmet successfully on, so that if she comes back to life, she won't choke to death immediately.
What were you saying,
Give me a plus 10 Medicaid rolls, please.
You're telling me?
Okay.
No, I'm telling Dawn.
So let's do. I mean, yeah, I'll. Yeah, okay. Let's do. The Emperor stuff. What is it called? Emperor Protects? No, that's not what it's said. Divine
Want
Administration.
to put a
No,
fake-
she's dead. That will not work on that.
Oh, okay.
This is a Medicaid observer. This is something you'd observe medically.
Okay. 5.6.
Okay, so there is a small caliber entry wound in her sternum, and then a similarly small caliber, it hasn't blown out like a big exit wound, but a similar sized exit wound in her back.
James really just wanted to kill her. First he shot her, and then he blew up the shuttle she was in.
So I pointed out to Nero, and I'm just like, "It's not an accident, Nero. Someone intentionally wanted her dead."
All right, over the radio, I say,
It's treason then.
Yes, let's get this ship and Art and everybody else here back on the Hand of Calixis so we can investigate this further.
All right, Lord Captain, we should move carefully in the zero gravity.
Nero, just grab onto things and you won't float around.
If only we knew who it was on this shuttle that assassinated the Queen and killed her before trying to cover up the evidence and killing themselves.
again, I'm broadcasting all of that on an open radio network or whatever.
I mean, your Voxes have a 1 kilometer range, so yeah, they're not hearing it on the planet, or even on the ships. You probably find more on the planet
Damn
past
it.
the ships.
Adrian, keep a lookout in case there's anyone that flew out somehow.
Will do, Lord Commodore.
Thank you.
Wait, Lord
Let's get
Commodore,
over
shouldn't we
that
search for
system.
who did this? I mean, she's not going to get any less dead. That's how death works. So,
I'm saying keep a lookout in case someone took the shot and then jumped out.
okay, that makes sense.
Yes. Let's get the Hand of Calixis, get this shuttled, and all these bodies back into it, and we can investigate further.
So, James,
Yes.
just out of curiosity, what's the likelihood that someone would... I don't know how these spaceships work. Is there like a room you go into to decompress before you EVA out? Or is it just like open the fucking shuttle door and just...
No, they've been airlocked. They've been airlocked.
Okay, all right, cool. So
We probably would have went through a ship, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So the likelihood of someone leaving a ship wouldn't be evident by the interior of the ship, yeah?
Not necessarily. There might be some. You don't know about the tech to know whether the ship logs every airlock cycle or the like.
Oh, I mean, obviously, but I meant just mostly from like an observation point of view. So
Yeah.
So the next thing I was wanting to do was to check the ship, see if it had any sort of logs or anything.
Okay. Well, you get it back on board the hand first.
Yeah.
Okay. So, assuming that everybody's checking over, I would like everybody please to give me a logic roll. +0.
Damn it.
I have that. I know I have that.
You're on mute if you're talking, Arthur.
What?
I got
I'm not on
+10
mute.
as well because I'm.
Wait, okay.
I just set it really
Hey.
low.
Okay.
I'll put
Holy
in a fate point
shit.
to give an extra degree of success.
Oh, I rolled a 9, guys.
Okay. So, Nero, with your roll, you pick up that there is a straight trajectory between the broken canopy window, the Queen's seat, and a small caliber hole in the back of her seat, all the way through to the back panel of the shuttle, all the way through to the outer hull of the shuttle.
What the fuck?
someone wanted her from like the train station down the road. God damn, good shot.
I'm sorry, are you saying someone from inside the shuttle shot her and it went out the front of the shuttle and like blew out a panel?
No, the shuttle's gone right through the shuttle, from either from front to back or back to front. You're not sure.
So it came from exteriorly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Joanna Dark pulls out a Farsight.
I explained that to Adrian, and I'm like, all right, Adrian, I need you to backhack and do a vector trace. Or I don't know what I'm saying. I've seen too many episodes of CSI Acadia. Just, use momentum and Delta V to solve this space crime.
To actually try and solve crime in Cadia?
Do I have any idea of like what could cause this? Like natural phenomenon or something like that. Like,
I mean, a bullet is not a natural phenomenon.
No,
right?
but like, did they hit like a micrometeor?
I mean, that's the thing is like
Shoot a bullet into space, it eventually becomes a natural phenomenon.
without having like an obvious projectile, you're not sure. You can't. Not with your minus 6.2 degrees success.
Yeah, I'm like, somebody shot a gun, man.
Yeah. So for you, Pierre, with your 3.8, so you get two things. So first off, according to the log,
also put a fate point to get it to 4.8.
Okay, no worries. So according to the log, certainly the log just recorded that at a point in the return flight, that cabin pressure was lost. And it seemed to be out the front and out the back, because it would have gone through both paths, so faster out through the front because of the bigger opening. But that there's no other damage to the ship. The first use of the airlock was when you came on board. There was no other activity in the ship. It was flying normally before the sudden loss of pressure. It would have resulted in unconsciousness very, very quickly. What you do find, though, with your extra degree of success is you find stuck into a couple of panels what looks like some flecks of some sort of self-disposing sabot.
Sabot?
Yeah.
Sabot is a sort of penetration round that sets itself on fire when it's inside of things.
So effectively, a regular bullet has a projectile and powder behind it.
Right.
So once it fires,
essentially.
Yeah. So a sabot is effectively where the bullet is encased in its own propellant. So it fires like a rocket, almost like a gyrojet, and then at some point that outer shell discards, which then gives the bullet, like, effectively it's like firing the bullet again while it's partly going. So it's how tank shells work effectively.
Right,
they are
right.
I
guess I just never knew that's what they were called.
Yeah.
Okay. Check the other bodies to see if we can figure out some sort of time of death of them.
Their time of death was at the exact same moment when the oxygen left the ship and they all started freezing to death while also having no oxygen.
Was this decompression while they're in space?
Yes. Yeah,
so someone had to shoot a bullet in space somewhere.
Yeah.
That was able to go through.
Or, I don't know.
Because
this is weird.
Yeah, because they couldn't have done it on land because they would have noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we know the moment where it decompressed. We caught that. I saw
the.
So look, Nero is an idiot, right? But he knows ballistics, so they're definite. We have tons of sensors in this space. We should be able to reverse engineer the moment when that explosion happened, objects nearby, and backtrace them, and also forward trace them and be like, oh, hey, there's that guy. We literally just traced him from where he went to where he is now.
Yeah. So
right? Am I crazy about this?
Yeah. I mean, all you can determine from that with your degree of success is it came from the hand. You can't say what part of the hand it came from, but it definitely came from the hand.
So wait, who has that information that it came from the hand?
Well, I'd say Pierre with his high degree of success.
Okay, so not Nero, because Nero is going to be like, "Le shock! Who among my gun crews is the traitor?" I mean, look, we all know it's Miriam, right? We're all in agreement that this is fucking Miriam. She's ruined everything so far.
The Vindicar assassin, or was it?
Miriam is secretly actually the Vindicar assassin.
Oh, that'd be a hell of a plot twist.
I mean, the plot twist is that Miriam is actually an agent of the enemy.
Yeah. If that even is. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. She's not, though, because this is what she has done here is metagame is for the Imperium.
But it's not for she killed an Imperial servant so that she could, in 15 years, be better positioned to rule it under her idea of a better Imperium.
Sure.
Shouldn't the people of this world answer to our own? This is my planet. You don't get any say in this.
Your law on the planet kind of sucks.
We just improved the planet. We just went to the shittiest part of the planet and made it better in 10 minutes.
Yeah, and
we can improve the whole planet pretty easily.
Yeah, and especially now that the Queen's dead.
Wow. All right. That was an above the table discussion. Let's never have this in character.
Sure.
Okay.
I honestly, in character, I don't think Adrian cares enough to really have that conversation.
I don't think so.
Do
We
you
need to
tell
form
us?
a meeting. The four of you, and then we'll get Ivy. We need to discuss on what has occurred here.
Okay.
So while you're getting this sorted out, Nero, you get a comm from the astropath from Tobias Markov.
Yep.
Master of Ordnance, I think that I might have something for you.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
We've lost, all of our recent communications to the world Solace and Carmine in the Expanse have been unsuccessful, and the astropaths sending it have described it as like a shadow has fallen over the world.
Oh shit.
So if I show you the Koronus Expanse,
Yep.
Solace and Carmine is here.
Sorry, what was that again?
Oh, I thought you said Solitude. Okay.
No, Solace and Carmine.
And this is the
Very well. Inform Inquisitor Shrain. That guy on our ship that is the captain, Space Marine captain.
Edinborn.
Yes. And I don't know, with the silver. Well, I'm sure he'll inform his Silver Skull, so he'll tell you to do it. All right. Excellent work. You know, you're more useful than I thought, so congratulations. If you'll excuse me, I've got to get back to solving a murder. This time the killer's as cold as the depths of space. Yeah! CSI Cadia.
I could save it till the next meeting of the Fate Council.
No, do it now.
But just to say that the way this shadow looks in the warp, like if you were wanting to do anything and keep it outside the view of whatever agent of fate you're avoiding, this shadow is a good way to do that.
Interesting. Go tell Edinborn anyway right now. Like, don't wait for the next meeting. Do it immediately.
Okay.
Zara's just trying to give me a call.
We'll do some research.
Perfect. I hang up the call.
Okay.
Hey, Lord Captain. Turns out did I tell you about the thing that we're hunting? The giant, hey, remember the super space whale thing that ate the beacon that we replaced?
you're talking about, I think, what Shran called Tyranids.
Ah, yeah. Those. The Dagon, right?
Yes.
We just
What
found
about
them.
him?
Yeah. I used a galaxy brain plan that involved a blind study, and we found them.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's not one of my properties, is it?
I
No.
don't think so.
But
Okay.
it's not very far from where you're supposed to meet the Dark Eldar.
Oh. That's not good.
Oh, great. Well, maybe they'll kill Selene Morn and the other bad guy, and then we'll just walk onto the city, kill the rest of the drow, and
I don't
get...
think they're in the same place.
I mean, Selene Morn is going to go to that place. Look, I'm just saying, we're always having to solve all these problems. Why doesn't someone else solve some of our problems for us, randomly?
It's because we have the fate.
I'm so tired of hearing that. Oh, look, our shuttle's landing in the shuttle bay now.
Please, it's our gun cutter.
Great. All right,
I
Adrian.
assume you're all back on the ship now because you were checking out the shuttle in the ship. Yeah.
All right, Adrian,
you okay?
I understand. Let's walk and talk to the place where we're going to speak to Ivy at. Oh, look,
Yes,
we
yes,
arrived
they're
already.
Okay, there we go. Okay, everybody is joined.
Hey, Don, your boyfriend's about to go hunt space whales.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, look, it's Ivy.
Isn't he with us?
No,
Yes.
oh wait, yeah, that's
Isn't
right.
he? He's with
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
but
Edinborn,
his cool bros are all on their way to go fight those space whales.
correct.
I'm sorry, Arthur. Who are you actually referencing here?
The Space Marine captain.
Oh, the one that I gave the fate point to?
Yes.
Yes.
His people are trying to hunt the Tyranids, and I literally just found the Tyranids for them. MBD. It's actually a pretty big deal. Took me 2 weeks to come up with the plan. A plan that, in hindsight, is
Involves-
really easy.
Yeah, exhausting our astropaths and
Well, they
and
only
you
had
got
to
it.
do it until they figured it out.
Yeah,
We exhaust our astropaths all the time anyway.
true. That's true.
When I turn and I look at Adrian and I go, when did you care about mutants? You literally just wanted to purge the tumbles.
Yeah. When they're useful.
That was my entire game plan with the tumbles, when they're useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ivy.
Yes. What do you need me for?
I don't know. Lord Captain?
Okay,
How did the Ares jetpack go in combat?
Oh, it was so sick. Incredible.
It's really good.
Ares
Fantastic
did
job,
not
as
get
always.
hit by a bunch of rocks and die.
right.
So
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
I am programmed to believe that I am the good boy, but I can never be sure until a direct answer is given to me.
Like his chainsaw teeth like rev a couple times.
His katana tail swishes from side to side.
feels like you need to be in heavy power armor just to be around this thing.
Back to more important matters. So it's obvious that the queen was assassinated, though it appears to have come from the Hand of Calixis itself.
How is that possible, Lord Commander? What?
I don't know, but from what I can gather, and Pierre will hand Ivy a slate of the details he knows about what was used. This person had very high-tech weaponry. Essentially a tank shell of a bullet that went through the canopy while in space and went out straight to the other side of the ship.
I mean, it's a sabot round, sir. It's not that unusual. We use them all the time.
In tanks.
We literally fire explosive bullets at people constantly. Nero just has this heavy bolter. He's like, sabot round is like a step
go
back.
Through one side of the ship to the other.
That's because it's designed to explode inside the ship intentionally, dealing the most amount of damage possible. Sabot round is a step back in technology, sir.
The other strange thing is that this bullet was able to work in space.
Well, that's not that. You just go in one
So
direction.
I've used looking at like the flex and also like the data that's being fed. Like, I mean, what I don't understand first off is you were still 6 kilometers from the ship when this happened. Like who would have that anything like that sort of accuracy? And even then, like it's not like you can just open a window and take a shot out.
Nero turns to look in a mirror. Was it me? But no.
Future
Look,
me.
guys, we have all of the data of the moment where the shuttle was hit. We've been inside the shuttle. We know the angle of the bullet. We have very smart people in this room that can do extremely basic trigonometry and figure out what location it came from, right?
The issue is the person could have moved by now and they might not be
Yes,
there.
but if we know where it was when it happened, we can go investigate the scene of the crime, Nero says as he pulls out his glasses again.
So what you're saying,
go check
what you're
the logs
saying,
to see
Nero,
if people who have left the ship,
is
that would give us a sign.
we could be in the room where it happened.
That's true. The killer may still be among us. I don't mean in this room, I mean on the ship.
Indeed. Someone
Lord,
check the logs
Lord
of people
Captain,
going
I really
in and out
don't
of the
think
ship.
have any shuttles left since we arrived? This literally happened minutes ago.
Well, I mean, like you spent like probably a few hours putting this together. No one has left the ship since it's happened.
Exactly.
In fact, you've probably been like a general quarters, so everybody is probably, in there has to keep their own work area anyway.
Lord Captain, the killer is still among us. Could be anyone except the 4 of us. I turn. No, give me this, James. Give me this. I turn and I say, "You're the only one I can trust." Picking up Horatio the frog and putting him on my shoulder. Whisper me your secrets, Horatio.
Do you say that while you're looking towards Ivy?
Well, Ivy's busy scanning the sabot fragments with her auger and feeding it into a data pad. She sort of spins around and slides it across the table to you, Pierre, and it shows the effectively like the Mechanicus blueprints for an Exodus turbo penetrator round.
What does all of that mean?
What does that mean? This
So
is look familiar.
So no, it doesn't mean so. Exodus rifles are what Vindicator assassins use, and turbo penetrator rounds are one of the type of rounds they have, which are designed to punch through even the thickest armor can punch through void ship holes.
So wait, is this Ivy saying this?
Well, she's showing you the.
Or
so what she's saying is
like,
that
okay,
yeah, the data state details and stuff, but it looks like the sabo components come from a from one of these rounds.
It was an inside job. Who do these Vindicare assassins work for? I don't suppose they happen to work for the Inquisition.
No.
Wait, did you
the
say
Imperium,
no?
really, I think.
I
don't know.
Wow.
Well, I mean, Nero thinks it's the Inquisition. You tell me.
Well, I believe that it's High Lords of Terra.
Yeah, so Ivy comes in with, well, so technically they're part of the Officio Assassinorum, which has a seat on the Council of the High Lords. But like any other, I mean, they can be pushed into service by the Inquisition just like any of us could be.
I turn to look at the frog. What do you know?
Its gullet inflates and goes in again.
Do I get any inspiration at all?
No.
You think he really wants some flies?
That's good, because I keep some in one of my ammo pouches. Feed it to him.
So we have a problem of a deadly accurate assassin on our ship.
Yeah, it's not that accurate, sir. I'm pretty sure I could outshoot them. I mean, it's more accurate than any of you in this room, but that's not saying that much.
Nero?
Yes, sir. I just felt like
you.
clarity was important.
That's good for
I
you.
feel like if I ever need education and empathy, I just need to compare myself to Nero to feel a lot better about myself.
Thank you.
I think
that was not a
Cade's
compliment.
always nearby.
I feel like it is a compliment. I'm jaded. I've got my mama's style, but I'm yesterday's child.
The mother of your child has just been assassinated, and you're saying that you yourself could make the shot.
Dawn, she literally did not recognize who I was, and you may not know this, but we did not have a romantic relationship or even a sexual one. I will not describe the procedures used, but I assure you, I have been tortured, and it was less painful.
All I'm saying is the family tree has now been ruined completely, and you don't seem to care about that.
I am literally hunting the assassin as we speak. I am consulting top minds. I look at Ivy, I look at Pierre, and I look at Horatio. Specifically, do not look at Adrian.
Still talking to the heretical frog.
The frog is not... Shh, shh. Don't listen, Horatio.
False gods.
Okay, I think what we need to do is do some sweeps of the ship as best as we can.
But what? Who or what are we sweeping for?
Lord Commodore, I think at this point, I think we have to ask ourselves, how important is it that we decipher who was behind this assassination?
How
are
dare
none of
you,
all
Adrian? An imperial governor was assassinated.
I understand that. But we have more important things to be doing.
Like what? We can't go anywhere. It's a bottle episode.
Really, we're waiting for the Lord Emperor to talk to Dawn again. It's like, hey, time for you to leave. Here's the path. Go ahead.
I know none of you have seen CSI Cadia, but the first step is that we should analyze the scene of the crime. And again, this is a mathematics problem that can be solved by first-year college students or even by honors high school students.
Okay. Lord Captain, if you would allow me, I would like to leave this conundrum to you and the others and go meditate, or at least center myself, so that I may once again be a vessel for the God Emperor.
You may proceed, Don.
Toodles. I say as I leave.
Pierre, you've got a message that Miriam wants to see you as well.
Oh, great.
I'm telling you, it's Miriam. We all know it above the table.
You get into a room and she's like, pushing a massive sniper rifle under her bed. And
She's got like Joanna Dark Farsight.
throwing the blanket down over it, like.
Lord Commodore, can you put your prints on this rifle real quick?
Here, hold this.
Miriam, do what you need to do to figure out where exactly they took the shot from.
You
and
mean
from there,
Ivy?
we can figure out where we need to sweep to find this person.
Oh, a mathematics problem, certainly.
Yes, I figured you would enjoy that.
Okay, nice.
I will help her since I'm excellent at ballistics, and that is literally this problem. We just remove gravity, bullet drop, friction.
Adrian goes and has lunch.
I hate you so much right now.
Pierre's going to go talk to Miriam.
Okay, no worries. Why don't we do that after we take a short break?
Absolutely.
Good.
All right, chat. Let me know in the YouTube comments section. Was it Miriam? Yes or no? And you have to say it before you watch the second part. It was Miriam. We know it was.
You don't offer yes or yes. Yes, it definitely was. Yes, I'm sure.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. Hell
It's
yeah.
like degrees of confidence. How confident are you that it was Miriam?